Hello and welcome to the Seer YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna do a little bit different. I'm gonna play Collected Merfolk. I'm not gonna play it. I've already recorded a match that I think will be very interesting for you guys to watch. But before we go into that, we're gonna talk a little bit about the deck list and why I'm playing this. The Merfolk community is very nice because there's lots of YouTubers out there, and as you all know, Nick from Canada, as I call him, Nikachu, he put a video on YouTube recently where he argued for Collected Company, and apparently he did quite well with the deck, and he also made a statement that he might try it during the next Grand Prix in Toronto next weekend. Here in Europe, though, it's not a Grand Prix for Lyon in 2 weeks, the week after this weekend. So, the thing is, I find this deck interesting. I changed it a little bit from Nikachu's deck. I added a fourth Collected Company and another Merfolk. He had the new Merfolk Lord, the 2/4. I also added a few more islands. Except from that, the sideboard is the same, almost. I think I added 2 more dispels, removed something, negate and unified will. Something like that, yeah. I might want to have a dismember as well, but okay. I really like the 4 relics. Except from this deck, I'm also trying a few other Merfolk decks. I will put the links below, but if you are a YouTuber, you might already seen them. It's one deck that a fellow YouTuber did quite well with. It's called Mistbinder Merfolk. It looks like this. He had 4 Mistbinders, and he had Dismembers and new 3/2 Lord. And apparently he made I think it was 5-0 with or 4-1 maybe. So I put that list below as well. This might be something I try on, but this is a very different style of Merfolk. And the third sort of list is to play with all blue. I don't think now that the green blue version, the regular one with the Comena speaker and what's it called, the 2-1, that could be a 3-1 too, is that good. I didn't have great success with it, so. And in this version you can also play natural state because you play more breeding pool. Anyway, this is the decks I'm thinking about recently. Today I'm gonna play this version, Collected Company, and Nikachu had a video where he stated why he thinks Collected Company should be played, and I found his argument really appealing, and so I think I might try it out. And the big difference between this version and the previous versions that other YouTuber has played or Merfolk players has played is that they don't have the noble hierarchy. And yeah. Anyway, I shouldn't talk too much about this deck because it's not my deck and I'm just playing it. It's Nikachu's deck basically. But I'm gonna jump into the game, and we have one quite interesting, but I don't want to spoil it, so when I open this you have like 5 seconds that you have to look away, so I'll tell you when you can come back if you don't want to see the results. And here we go. Game history. here's the game. And now you can come back. Because here's the first game with this deck. And it starts with a rapid pace. And I just lost a die roll. And this is the week after the Pro Tour. So you have to remember that, what kind of decks could be hot after the Pro Tour. I'll play in a 2-man here, and we take it step by step. This is my start. It's a fairly good start, I would say. A really good start. You have an Either Vial, you have Double Lord, and a Spreading Seas. I can't ask for much more than this. But the thing that happens here, you will see, my opponent keeps his 7 as well, and you see what he starts with here. Don't blink because it will go fast. Burning Inquiry. So this is the hollow one deck from the Pro Tour that managed to go to the semifinals. So I discarded 3 cards, but he discarded 3 cards as well. But that's not the important thing. What do he play? He gets a really explosive start here with double Holy One. If you've seen the recordings from the Pro Tour, they have this Japanese from the highlights. He did it twice on camera. So these things happens. It's really hard to come back from this, of course. And he also had a Flame King here, so that's nice as well. And he's communicating here. Better be lucky. Got to be lucky to get lucky. I don't know what that means, but whatever. And here we go. Play a while, of course, and not much to argue here. Here you see our opponent. What do you think he will play here? I'll pause for a while. You see he has a full graveyard, and yeah, obviously he's gonna play a Delve creature. And he has the perfect Delve here, because he can delve away his whole graveyard and he keeps the Flame Wing as well. So he's not only attacking for 10, but he has a really nice team here. Yeah, so this will be quite tough to come back from. I'm already half my starting life, and I haven't got anything except for a while on the board yet, so this will be tough. Actually, I conceded here because I know I didn't want to give him more information I already have given him, so I know I can't come back from this. But in I don't know if you can see this, but okay. Now don't look away for a minute. I will. Okay, I will look away for 2 seconds. I will. We'll go to the next game. See how it works. Bear with me here. This is the first time I'm doing this kind of recording, so here we go for the second game. And for the second game, I actually sideboarded. I sideboarded out the collected companies and the high-end creatures, and I sideboarded in the Either Vials. I know, sorry for that. And sideboarded in the Either Vials. No, not the Either Vials. The Relic of Progenitors. Sorry. and counter spells actually, because I figured that I have to counter his stuff, because if I can counter it or somehow delay him, this is a glass cannon deck, so you will see. And here I draw a one-lander. Would you have kept this? I don't know. I'll give you a second to pause here. I do, eventually, because the reason behind I kept this one-lander was because I have two Curse Catchers, and Curse Catcher is going to be very vital in this matchup, because that will set him back so he can't well, play his two vital spells that he can discard cards with. So you can counter the sorceries with the Curse Catchers. So even though I don't have another land, I'm still happy to keep this. And I also have a relic that's very important in this matchup, so he can't use his dead creatures. Here you see, will he have the same start here? No, he has a Flame Blade, because he respects the Curse Catcher, as he should do. Unfortunately, I don't draw another island, or land for that matter. I draw a relic. In retrospect, that might be good to play a Curse Catcher there, because he could have it. But I thought, I want a relic out and I want to stop his shenanigans. Here I counter his Fateless Floating, because he didn't have another land, so I countered it, and that was a really good decision, of course. I was quite lucky that he didn't draw another land, so we are stuck on one land each here. And then I think his attack, but this is not nearly as explosive as the last round, and the relic really pays off here, because he can't flashback the Fateless Loading as well. And I draw a second land here, so very crucial. And another Curse Catcher, because the way he is coming back from this start is if you draw another Fateless Loathing or that Burning Inquiry, and we're gonna have to stop that. But also, I could have played the Spreading Seas here, of course, but if he then top decks another land, that Spreading Seas wouldn't have the same effect as the Curse Catcher. Now I don't have much choice. I have to, you see, much less explosive start. And I get the Spreading Seas in here, so his even though he attacks me down and he draws another land, this is gonna be tough for him to come back from. You see, he's respecting my Curse Catchers here. He doesn't do anything, and that's really the way you want to put him in. And Spreading Seas combined with Curse Catcher and Relic really does a great job here. And I can even keep mana up for the Relic if I want to crack it, but I don't think there's no need to crack the Relic here. Yeah, I think he bolted my Curse Catcher here. So, you see what he's doing here? He has to cycle the Hollow One. and you don't want to cycle the Holy One. If you got to cycle Holy One, you're losing, basically. He was lucky to find a land though, but I still have the Curse Catcher backup. I don't want to play the Master here. I want to play the Harbinger, because if I just can stop his attacking, he's not going to do much. And he only has one land, so Harbinger is kind of a given here for me. And I can also play the Ether Vial as well. I'm in no hurry at all here, so it's not gonna suddenly explode here, I think. Oh, I didn't play the Ether Vial. I played it. Sorry, I played the Master. I guess I'm much more relaxed when you do the replays. Yeah, and he has manners here, so he can attack, and I can actually block. And I don't want to lose anything here, because 2 points of damage, even if you play a bolt or something, I don't want to lose anything here. I don't know, I probably could have blocked with a Harbinger, but there's no need to risk anything here. If he plays another land after combat or something, and remove my Master. Fortunately, he doesn't do that. He didn't draw any land, so he only has these pointless creatures. And luckily enough, I draw a third Spreading Seas. I'm a luck sack today, I guess. He was very lucky in the first game, and I was quite lucky in this second. I figured that could I 3-7? Yeah, I couldn't have killed him. I could have only dealt like 10 damage, so I might as well play the Harbinger here for bounce. And yeah, the game ends here. So let's jump onto the third game. It didn't turn out like this, I would say. So take a 5-second pause, so I don't reveal the results. And now I'm back. Back for the third and final game. Oh, you see here. Unfortunately, this matchup is not very good for Collected Company, as I wrote it out. I would like to see how good Collected Company is, but I think it's better against a little bit slower decks like mid-range and well, not just mid-range, but decks that are not as explosive as this one. But hopefully in future videos we will see more of the Collected Company. So this was a 5-lander, and I chose not to keep it because I would very much run out of gas. So I moved down to 6 here, and I think I'm on the draw because I won the last game. And if I have a 1-lander with a Vial, I snap keep it. Vial is that important, and a Relic as well, so that's even better. And I scry to the top here with a island, so this is good. But you remember what we're up against here, the Hollow One deck. So I keep my fingers crossed here. I don't want 2 hollow ones in the first turn again. Could he be so lucky this time? Because I have my guard down here. There's not much I can do. There's no force of will. And of course, he draws the Burning Inquiry. This time though, he is not as lucky. Because everything ends up in the bin. But the bin could, and also he didn't have that 2/2 creatures, so he drew an extra card with a street rod, but that doesn't matter. So I feel lucky today. So I even get to keep my Edelweiss, and that was very important. And I got more lands, so that's quite good. Oh, actually, I draw the second land, I think. Yeah. And here, he doesn't do anything. So that, for me, indicates that he doesn't have a Gurma Angler or a Delve creature. And that's very good. So, that means my Relic could go to town. I maybe should be more patient here, but I felt that if he somehow managed to top deck a Delve creature and get to play it, I will have to remove his graveyard before that, so he can't do that. Instead of playing the Vial, because I could have played the Vial here, but that wouldn't matter. So now he starts to play his pathetic creatures, and this is really what you want the holo deck to be, because if he's into, I don't know, whose turn is it? Turn 3, and he's playing a Flamebade Adept, he's not in a winning position, I'll tell you that much. So I tap out here, and I don't attack, because yeah, he could cycle a card and block my Curse Catchers, and I don't want that. The Curse Catcher is important, even though he has 4 mana. He obviously could play around the Curse Catcher, but it's important for beatings as well. And there's no way I'm gonna block this. I'm on 18 life and he's on 14. I don't know what he's thinking of. He should have kept it on defense, I guess, but I guess this deck can't win if it keeps full defense. Anyway, he has 4 cards left. And I draw a Negate. This is lovely. This is exactly the card you want to have. I sideboarded that in. The first counterspell I think I draw. So everything is going my way here, so I don't know if there is he's bolting here, and I'm not countering that, because that's not a vital card for my deck to win. The thing, I have to counter his Burning Inquiries and his draw effects, so I'm gonna keep the Negate in my hand. I have lots of Lords. Here we have the Faithless Floating, and this is interesting because this is a card he has been waiting for, and that's why I negate it. Because if we manage to resolve these 2 spells Burning Inquiry and Faithless Floating, he's in a good position, but if it's not so much. And also, I could catch it on the way back with a Curse Cacher. If he doesn't play a 4th land, 5th land. And this is unfortunate though. He's playing the Pyroclasm here. There's not much I can do about that. But it's a 2 for 2, so it's not that bad. Now we're both down to 1 and 2 cards. But he has a Faithless Floating in the bin. Fortunately, he just had he dropped 2 lands, so that doesn't say he has that much in his hand as well. He only has 2 cards. And I'm drawing gas here. He has drawn a lot of lands, like, yeah. So this is good. And this is also important, but I guess all good Merfolk players knows this, that you never place this. You always place it in the end of turn because you want to avoid the Pyroclasm effects. Of course, he had a Pyroclasm, but that's not that bad. And this is also interesting because on this card it has a drawback. It has to attack each combat. And in this instance, when he is at 7 and I'm in 15, that's a really big drawback because he can't give it back. He wants to block my Merfolk Branchwalkers. Of course, he doesn't know I have it now, but next turn, I mean, next. Yeah, and atop I reveal with a Relic of Perennials here. So that's really good to remove the whole of his graveyard, because if you draw a Delve creature, that could be very threatening. So I crack it immediately and get rewarded with a Harbinger. But again, I don't want to play the Harbinger here. And I rather take the damage because I don't want him to replay it after combat and have a blocker. And he knows about this as well, so he plays the Flame Wing after combat this turn. And in this case, I want to bounce it. I don't know if I actually want to bounce it. It might be correct not to bounce it, actually, because he can then choose to play it after combat again, if he wants to block my creatures. So that this might have been a mistake. But I chose to bounce it. So. It feels right. He has 2 cards in hand. Do we have a bolt? No, obviously not. So this is the end of the line for him. And I hope you enjoyed the game. And I will post the links below from Nikachu's explanation why he's playing Collected Company. This match, however, didn't really showcase the power of Collected Company since I booted it out. But I will post it anyway, and I will play several games with the Collected Company, and hopefully I will put up some of them. So you will probably see the strength in Collected Company. I will try it out at least. Or if there is no strength in Collected Company, I will roll back to try Mistbinder version, and I will also make a shout out to my fellow YouTubers and post their links to to the guy who posted a 5-0 with that version. That made me interested. And that version is much more straightforward than the regular Yugi blue and green tropical Merfolk. But I don't really like to play Merfolk in that way, that you don't have any counters, you only have creatures and stuff. But I think it could be really successful with like having like 16 lords or something. So I don't know. We can show you the deck again. Let's see what you guys think. You think I should play this deck instead of Collected Company? Just put a note down below. I find it very interesting. It has dismember. I talked about this earlier, but this is an interesting deck. A little bit of different sideboard, but I really like the natural state, because this is the main weaknesses for this deck, to come across decks like that. Anyway, I don't want to have too long of a video. It's already, how long is it now? Well, I can't see here, I guess. It's too long. So, bye, and auf Wiedersehen.